Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So Ayesha Curry, child. Now Ayesha Curry used to be just the wife that was there, right? Which that's no shade because a lot of wives to these hubs in the industry just sit there, look pretty, don't say nothing about their business, right? Because their men, 9 times out of 10, are the one in the spotlight, unless you know both of y'all are in the industry and things of that nature. So Ayesha for a long time, which is a pretty wife, light skin, green eyes, she a little chunky, whatever. She lost that weight, had them kids, and everything was good and dandy until she opened her mouth. And from there, it was doomsday because ever since Ayesha has been going on these podcasts and telling her story about her marriage and how she feels about herself, she been embarrassing Steph Curry. Now, what I'm going to say is that because a lot of women identify with Ayesha Curry's stance, especially what she said on this podcast, she did this white woman, I don't know her name or whatever. She spoke on the fact that she did not see herself as the wife with kids. She saw herself as the career woman, Miss Independent, not necessarily Miss Independent or whatever, but like she didn't think she would be Stephen Curry's wife. Now, 4.5 kids later, here we go. And so this is what she said in the podcast. We got everybody in a tizzy. So check this out.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because I want to talk a lot about that today because I relate to you in that way. Like, I really, really never thought I was going to get married. I'm like, there is actually no way that's ever going to happen. And then it happens and you're like, maybe I didn't know myself that well. And it's like, no, you knew yourself when you were young.
Yeah. So proponents, which means to agree with Ayesha Curry, is that it's true. Most of us at a young age, and I'm not a woman obviously, but I know especially women, they, not all, don't see themselves becoming a wife with kids. Most women now, because most women are more or less independent, they, want to get their own bag and, they want to be bothered by men who are not going to provide and things like that. You got some women obviously who still want to live by the American standard of, being a wife with kids, housewife, keep taking care of the home, X, Y, and Z. But we live in a time where most women cannot do that unless their man works a very, very good job or they just find a way to be a single mom and figure it out, right? So most women are like Ayesha. All you thought about was having a career and being happy, single, whatever. Most women do not expect when it's time to actually find a man, right? All of a sudden now you got a wedding ring, you're planning a marriage, and then boom, you having kids. But let's bring it back to the fact that Stephen has never came outside and been like, man, F Ayesha, she embarrassing me in the family, da-da-da-da. He keeps it in the home. So opponents, people who disagree with Ayesha, is like, why you keep throwing your man business out there as if we asked you? Like, girl, nobody gets a F-U-C-K, girl, like, what are you doing? So it's like, Ayesha, I get it, but then she said something else that threw me in a tizzy, because it's like, girl, you are a married woman. Why are you seeking male validation? So check this out.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then like I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
Now, her up there sitting with Jada Pinkett Smith is diabolical. Like, the woman of all women who has embarrassed her husband for years should be the last person you should be taking advice from as a woman. But now let's get into, once again, the argument. Opponents of Ayesha feel like, yeah, yeah, I got my man or whatever, my man, but it is kind of, a little boost when men also find me attractive, okay? Everybody wants to be liked and loved, and everybody want to feel like they're attracted to somebody else outside of whatever the case may be. But obviously, opponents, people who actually have some common sense, would tell you, girl, you got a married man who is doing right by you. Why you want to teach about other men? And that's where Ayesha needs to shut the hell up, because girl, you're married. Like, you want your comments flooding, talking about how, men want to have sex with you and all these things. Like, and my thing is, Stefan has not one time embarrassed her and been on a blog talking smack about this woman. So, like, again, you see women all the time in social media, especially celebrities, where, they are in relationships, but you got men and women, dogging, you saying all disrespectful things about what you want to do to these people, and they had their hands on them. But 9 times out of 10, if you respect your relationship, especially your marriage, you don't respond to them things. You might giggle about it, whatever, and you and your partner might be laughing about it, when they read the comments and stuff, but you don't blatantly come outside and say, you know what, I wish niggas would say they want to fuck me. Like, ooh, like, ooh, like. And this is why women don't want to get married, because why would you say that? Disrespecting that man like that. Now, I can understand if Stefan was out here, running his dick suckers, then I get it. But he ain't doing that. So, Ayesha, sometimes it was better when you shut the fuck up and no one heard your voice, because clearly, like a Jada Pinkett Smith, you don't learn your lesson. If that man decides to divorce you, that's your business, and that's on period. So, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and now you can hype the video, so hype my video and put me in the algorithm. Thanks. Bye.